family. This is interesting to me because as somebody who experienced Candy, Rob, and Vicky as people who had gone off the deep end, I speak to you from the deep end. It's interesting because what I know now is that part of being in the deep end is brave enough to say the things that make other people think that you're crazy. I've been on a journey for the last 7 years, revisiting key moments. Each of our lifetimes is a review, not each of our lifetimes is a review to some degree, but like a piano keyboard, every seventh or eighth, depending on how you look at a keyboard, is a place where the key on the keyboard repeats again an octave higher. Also, interestingly, the piano keyboard has 88 keys, and I don't Bible. I'm not religious. I'm very pretty much anti-religion, but the 88th Psalm has some really crazy words in it that reflect about this journey. It's hard to understand, and it's going to be hard for me to say in one video about the energy of Ellen and Harvey Robbins. They are the darkest fucking energy I've encountered on this afterlife journey, their afterlife journey, and they were super, super evil people. Harvey got his from Grandma Best, and I just left the Boise area. I've actually revisited areas geographically based on our family, and I've spent a lot of time in Utah. And for those of you who don't know, in my last gig, I worked for Mormons, and they fired me. And I wasn't bitter about the firing. Mormons bought our company and then fired me. Like they went to all the trouble to, seems like, to buy the company and then fire me. But there's some things I wanted to tell you in here because on the surface, evil doesn't look like evil here, unless you're really a bad guy. Harvey Robbins, I describe all the time that I was a golf orphan. And Harvey Robbins went to work every day, came home every day at lunch and took a 20-minute nap, and then went back to work and lived for the weekend so he could go golf again. And we all know how Graham was. We all know how Ellen was. Ellen, in observing her to me, was always watching the little birdies out on the out in the green room. And she is in the dark afterlife. She was somebody who supplied the dark with kids. They're predators. So first let me go back and say that Harvey wanted the girls to call him honey, which if you grew up in Kerrville, Texas, that didn't seem weird to me. Now looking back on it and knowing how sexually perverted he was, I see it very clearly now. And I remember distinctly at least 2 times, I don't know if any of you remember Judy Maines, she was Mom's friend, that Judy would be at the house and there was a party, and I don't think any of you were ever there for the parties, but he would point at his shoulder and he goes, "Hey, is there something on my shoulder right here?" And when she would come over and she would look at his shoulder, he would take his hand and go like this and literally grab her pussy. Grabbed her by the pussy. I saw it with my own eyes growing up. That's all I'm going to say about that. Ellen loaned money out to almost all of us. And that gave her a foothold on debt. I don't know if you watched the Wheel of Time series, but Toe, like you had tow with her if she had bailed you out. I asked her once for about $400, and I got into an MLM thing with supplements, and I ended up having to buy into the supplements, kind of like Tupperware or whatever. And I was about $400 in, and she helped bail me out. And so I had a little bit of tow with her. And in this afterlife, she kept coming to me, and she's crying, and she's crying, and she's crying. And don't leave me here. And that's her shtick. I never saw that woman cry at home, like hardly ever. But here, as it would be in hell, she's just crying because she knows it's her last shot. Why am I telling you all this? Because most of us have toe with Ellen. The boys called him partner. I run into Rob. I run into other men he adopted as sons in his ring. I'm not going to go into telling you a bunch more than that because the journey has literally been just out fucking in left field. So there's a couple things I'll say. There's a movie, Everything in the Universe All at Once, but also Field of Dreams is a really great movie. I'm working on building something special for the next place I land after this life. And if you build it, they will come. But the field in Field of Dreams helps you understand the unified field. The past and the baseball players are there. The present is there with Kevin Costner and his family. And the future is the people coming to the field. That's what the unified field looks like. It's way more sciencey than anybody would ever guess. But if you don't understand, this is the age of mysticism. And if it's Murphy's Law, if it could happen, it happened here. I tell people all the time, you either came here to be dropped off, you came here to drop somebody else off, or you came here to learn. But we're not staying. And I tell the Christians, you say rapture, I say purge, because Christians have lost their goddamn minds in how they treat people. And so they're all calling for the rapture. And the only thing that I have observed is that we listen and we learn from books, and all of those people read and trust the Bible. But what if all those things already happened? What if this was paradise, and what if this was where they brought to, and then they just trash the planet because they're just shitty people to begin with? That's the net of everything that I have turned over and discovered as I've been doing this. I have a TikTok account. It's Exploration Realized. I have a website, Exploration Realized. And all I have been able to do is just document what I have done on this journey. When I first started, I'm like, I can't tell anybody this. They're going to think I'm Candy or Rob, and you might anyway. But I just decided just to go with it, just go with it. I got possessed 3 or 4 years ago, and when a dog bites me, I don't pull away from the dog. I shove my hand into the dog's mouth. And that's what this experience has been like for me. This energy showed up. I got possessed. And I'm like, I will fucking kill a demon. I'll fucking kill a demon. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And documenting the things that I've learned since then. I happen to read a ton of fantasy novels because my brain, my psyche needed, I think, to be conditioned to accept some of what, to be open to magic and the crazy things. So the one that I found that fits the most is a series called the Chaos series, and it's about dragons and dragon riders, and which sounds way, way, way out there, but it explains everything the best. It takes in particle physics. It takes in all different kinds of spiritual development and stuff. That's the one that I have found that has helped me the most wrap my mind around the experience I'm having. That said, I've taken things from Star Wars and The Matrix and Neverending Story. There's little pieces, crumbs all over the place. Go be Hansel and Gretel. Love you guys.